Hello everyone, it's October 8th and I am by my Buy the Book bin. If you remember, we are going to try to see if we've attracted a crowd to that half watermelon, well, the cap end of a watermelon rind that I buried under this end with the newspaper and the feeding zone marker. So let's see. Now I am not going to do Patrick vermicompost learning by doing and count these worms. Don't have time for that. It's a beautiful day. I have to take my dog for a walk. But I did want to see whether this watermelon is still here and has attracted a crowd. Come on, where is it? It was right here. Come on. Oh, there are the worms. We're trying to see, do we have more than 125 worms? Of course we do. And if so, by how much? There we go. There are my worms. From this bin, there's a bit of watermelon rind left, the very green papery stuff. So we're looking at these worms. I don't know how to estimate. Patrick did little bundles of worms, how much worms were. Definitely a few of them here, probably even more under the area where the watermelon was. They've obviously eaten off all the red, so you know, that didn't work as well as I was hoping. I was hoping for like a watermelon worm ball. We've got another worm cluster here. Worms, you're not behaving. You know, I was just doing my leaf mold bin and they made a beautiful worm ball in an avocado half. So I'm just splitting up this watermelon rind with the worms in it. I'm just going to do a quick fluff of this bin and then no worms on the plastic here, and then give them another feeding. It's been 6 days since I was in this bin. There are the avocado shells. They're cleaned out of any food, so we're not going to get a worm ball in those anymore. You need to actually put avocado, sorry about the arm, with you know, like rotten avocado flesh in it to get those avocado parties. If you just put the shell in, sometimes the shell will curl up on itself and form a little worm condo in it because it holds the moisture in, but it doesn't have any nourishment per se until those shells start to break down, which takes a while. Okay, so I've just stirred up the moisture again. I'm ticked off a few of the neighbors. The moisture is there needs to be more. It definitely is starting to show that it's drying out again. We are in a unseasonably warm year this time of year, and so this bin, even though it's October, is continuing to get treated like it's summer temperatures, and so not good. Not good for the worms in terms of drying out. All right, I'm sure they like the heat, actually. I'm sure they like the warmth, as long as you can keep them moist. Okay, so there's one going up the end. Don't know where he's going. All right, so I've got another treat for them today. Got one of my corn cobs that now they've been cleaned of most of the meat, so they're not going to be a hearty meal. But, you know, I'm again demonstrating with this bin to be conservative in your feedings when you have a new bin. This bin is in its first 6 months. It is not well established yet. It has not had a harvest. I've taken it nice and slow, started with 125 worms. So you don't want to hurry it and start pushing the food. You want the microbiome in here to settle. And you'll know, you'll know the longer you do worm farming, the more you get the sense of, yep, this bin is starting to process faster. It's starting to, the critters have settled into a pattern. You've either got a few pill bugs in your bin or you don't. You either have springtails or you don't, and even they can come and go. And then you kind of know the bin stops changing seasonally. At least that's my experience. It sort of stabilizes. And so I'm giving it newspaper again as its carbon source. So it's by the book. I'm giving it common sources of carbon, not buying coconut coir, not using my beautiful leaf mold. I'm just doing sort of conventional worm bin operation. All right, so I gave it some powdered eggshell on the corn cob. That's not a lot of moisture, so I'm going to keep my eye on this because, like I said, even though I fed that, pretty ample watermelon rind last time, this bin is marginally damp enough. I think it needs to be a little bit more damp than this. Certainly, I think it will dry out within my usual weekly check-in. So I'll just come back and mist the top. I've had to do that before we went away, and I'm glad that the bin retained its moisture sufficiently while we were gone. All right, everyone, that's my by the book bin, the one that I started for my neighbor. Bye for now.